In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 27, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Knicks versus Orlando Magic. 2 teams from the Eastern Conference, each striving to solidify their positions in the playoff picture, are set to face off in the Sunshine State. The New York Knicks will hit the road to square off against the Orlando Magic on Friday night. In their last outing, the Knicks secured a 117-114 home victory over the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday afternoon, although they failed to cover the spread as 8.5-point favorites. Meanwhile, the Magic were in action at home on Thursday night against the Miami Heat as part of a back-to-back set, which concludes with this game. In their previous matchup on Monday night, Orlando claimed an impressive 108-104 win over the Boston Celtics, triumphing outright as 9.5-point underdogs. Historically, the all-time regular season series between these teams favors Orlando, who hold a narrow 67-65 edge. However, the Knicks have dominated recent encounters, winning the last 3 meetings, including a 100-91 road victory on December 15th. In terms of injuries, the Knicks continue to be without Mitchell Robinson, while the Magic remain shorthanded, missing Gary Harris, Paolo Banchero, Moritz Wagner, and Franz Wagner. This marks the 3rd meeting between the 2 teams during December, with New York emerging victorious both straight up and against the spread in the previous matchups. This game features the largest spread of the 3 encounters, with the Knicks' average margin of victory in the first 2 games being 12 points. The Magic have struggled to match up against New York, a challenge exacerbated by Franz Wagner's continued absence, though he also missed the 2nd game between these teams. New York has capitalized on their rebounding advantage, with their dominance on the glass playing a pivotal role. For instance, Towns averaged 18.5 rebounds across those games. Defensively, the Knicks have stifled Orlando, limiting them to 42.7% shooting. Given Orlando's depleted scoring options, there's little reason to believe they'll improve offensively in this matchup. Over their last 10 meetings with Orlando, New York is 6-4 both straight up and against the spread. The current circumstances make things particularly challenging for the Magic. Playing the 2nd game of a back-to-back is always difficult, but doing so without 3 of their top 4 scorers makes the situation even worse for an offensively struggling squad like Orlando. Losing Banchero alone would be a significant blow, but being without both Wagners as well raises serious questions about who can step up to deliver offensively for the Magic. In contrast, the Knicks are hitting their stride, and they enter this game with a clean bill of health. Moreover, New York benefits from a rest advantage, giving them another edge over a Magic team running on fumes. While the Magic have shown resilience and a competitive spirit, their current situation, playing short-handed and on the 2nd night of a back-to-back, is far from ideal. Key players have already been forced into larger roles due to the absences of Banchero and Wagner, and now they must contend with fatigue. Additionally, the Magic are coming off a morale-deflating loss to the Heat, where Tyler Herro sealed the win with a clutch game winner. Meanwhile, the Knicks are arguably playing their best basketball of the season and have already defeated Orlando twice this month. Those victories came by an average margin of 16.5 points, further underscoring the disparity between the teams. Presently, the Knicks are among the hottest teams in the league. With all their key players available and in form, they should prove too much for an undermanned Magic squad missing several of their best contributors. Considering the modest line for this game, backing the Knicks to extend their winning streak and cover the spread as favorites seems like a strong pick. Therefore, the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. These teams have combined for an average of 209 points in their first 2 matchups this season, splitting the results against the total. While the game features a top 6 offense in the Knicks against a bottom 6 offense in the Magic, their most recent meeting saw only 191 total points scored. Both teams play at a slower pace, with the Magic ranking 29th in possessions per game and the Knicks sitting last. Orlando's current struggles with scoring are evident, especially with Banchero and the Wagners sidelined. The offensive load has fallen to less prominent players like Suggs, Da Silva, and Moritz Wagner, none of whom are household names. Since Franz Wagner's injury, Orlando has been held to 110 points or fewer in 4 of 6 games, including being limited to under 100 points in 4 of their last 10 outings. On the other hand, the Knicks' offense largely revolves around 2 key players, although they've had occasional standout performances from others, like Bridges on Christmas. Even so, New York has scored 104 points or fewer in 3 of their last 6 games. Historically, the under has been a reliable trend in this matchup, hitting in 8 of the last 10 meetings between the teams. Heading into Thursday, New York had exceeded the total in 17 of their 30 games this season. The Knicks rank 3rd in the league in turnovers, averaging just 13.1 per game, and they play at a deliberate pace, ranking 28th in tempo with an average of 96.9 possessions per game. Meanwhile, Orlando had gone under the total in 17 of their 31 games entering Thursday's contest. The Magic are 20th in turnovers per game, averaging 15.3, and are similarly slow-paced, ranking 24th with 97.4 possessions per game. Given Orlando's depleted roster, their methodical tempo, and the Knicks' willingness to grind out games, the under appears to be the prudent choice. Thus, under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Antonio Spurs vs. Brooklyn Nets. The San Antonio Spurs continue their road trip in the Eastern Conference with a matchup against the Brooklyn Nets on Friday night. This game will take place in Brooklyn, marking the Spurs' next challenge following a hard-fought Christmas Day loss to the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, the Nets are entering this game on the second night of a back-to-back, having hosted the Houston Rockets on Thursday night. The quick turnaround presents a distinct challenge for Brooklyn as they face a rested Spurs squad. On the injury front, the Spurs have the advantage of a fully healthy roster, with no players currently listed on the injury report. In contrast, the Nets are dealing with key absences, as both Cam Thomas and Dorian Finney-Smith remain sidelined. This disparity in player availability gives San Antonio an edge, even as the visiting team. The Spurs have been stationed in New York since Christmas Eve, allowing them time to recover and prepare between games. The Nets, however, face a quick turnaround after traveling back from Milwaukee following a taxing game against the Bucks. Defensively, the Spurs also hold an advantage, particularly in the paint, where Victor Wembanyama excels at altering shots and controlling the interior. The Spurs rank 11th in the NBA in total rebounds per game, a stark contrast to the Nets, who sit at the bottom of the league in this category. Additionally, Brooklyn's defense has struggled significantly, ranking last in field goal defense, which should allow the well-rested Spurs to generate high-quality scoring opportunities at the rim. The Spurs are coming off a strong offensive showing against the Knicks, showcasing a legitimate scoring threat that has remained consistent throughout the season. Conversely, the Nets have struggled defensively, making it likely that San Antonio will find success scoring in this matchup. Given Brooklyn's injury woes and defensive struggles, the Spurs are poised to dominate and potentially secure a comfortable victory. San Antonio is 15-15 against the spread, while the Nets may find it challenging to keep up due to their depleted roster. While the Spurs are still working towards achieving consistent success, the schedule is in their favor for this game. Their loss to the Knicks on Christmas Day was a tough pill to swallow, but it has given them time to regroup and refocus. Meanwhile, the Nets are coming off an emotional, hard-fought road win against the Milwaukee Bucks and now face a letdown scenario on the second night of a back-to-back. The Spurs had been on a solid run before dropping their last 2 games, including the competitive loss to the surging Knicks. On the other hand, Brooklyn was struggling before their surprising upset against the Bucks. While it's tempting to back the Nets at home, their lack of rest could prove costly. Therefore, the Spurs are the pick to not only win outright but also cover the spread as favorites in this matchup. The Nets' tired legs after traveling from Milwaukee won't help their chances on Friday night, especially given their poor ranking in field goal defense. This should create plenty of scoring opportunities for the Spurs, who are also expected to control the tempo of the game. Thanks to their significant rebounding edge, San Antonio can dictate a fast pace, as they rank 13th in the league in pace of play. The Spurs are proficient at scoring, although their defense has shown occasional lapses. Brooklyn's defense, meanwhile, has been consistently poor. This season, San Antonio has hit the over in 16 of their 30 games, while Brooklyn has done so in 14 of 29, with a 7-6 record in home games. The Spurs' ability to knock down three-pointers efficiently should exploit Brooklyn's defensive weaknesses on the perimeter, further aiding the likelihood of a high-scoring affair. Expect the Nets to be playing catch-up throughout the night. Thus, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Indiana Pacers versus Boston Celtics. The NBA is set to host an exciting rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals as the Indiana Pacers aim to seek redemption against the Boston Celtics. This matchup carries added intrigue, considering Boston swept the Pacers in 4 games during their previous postseason clash. Indiana will undoubtedly be eager to turn the tide, but they face a challenging task against one of the league's top teams. The Pacers remain undermanned, with key players Obi Toppin and Aaron Nesmith listed on the injury report. Meanwhile, the Celtics also have their own injury concerns, as Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis are both questionable for this game. From a betting perspective, Boston has been somewhat overvalued. While their 22-8 straight-up record speaks to their quality, their 11-19 against the spread record highlights their struggles to cover the spread. With a 36.7% cover rate, Boston's performance against the spread ranks as the 4th worst in the NBA this season. As of Thursday afternoon, the Indiana Pacers are riding a 5-game winning streak, showcasing significant improvement in their recent performances. Over this stretch, Indiana's offense has been firing on all cylinders, averaging an impressive 119 points per game. In 4 of these 5 games, they have scored at least 119 points. However, the Pacers are coming off a tough loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, a game they likely feel they let slip away. Now, they face the daunting challenge of traveling to Boston with no rest between games. Although the circumstances are less than ideal for Indiana, the Pacers have been playing some of their best basketball over the past 2 weeks, whereas the Celtics have lost 3 of their last 4 games. With Porzingis and Holiday still listed on the injury report, Boston's lineup may not be at full strength. Additionally, the Celtics are just 7-12 against the spread in their last 19 games when favored by double digits. Indiana enters this game with plenty of momentum, but playing on 0 days rest against a formidable Celtics team is a significant disadvantage. While Boston is expected to secure a comfortable home victory, the hefty spread provides an opportunity for the Pacers to hang around long enough for a backdoor cover. As has been observed throughout the season, the Celtics often fail to cover inflated lines, making the Indiana Pacers to cover the spread as underdogs our full-game side pick. From a totals perspective, the under has been a favorable trend in Boston's matchups against Eastern Conference opponents, hitting in 16 out of 26 games. The under is also 5-2 in games following a Celtics loss this season. For Indiana, the under has prevailed in 5 of their 8 games when playing with a rest disadvantage. Despite the Pacers' reputation as a high-tempo team, their lack of rest favors a slower pace, aligning with Boston's preference to play at a more methodical tempo. The Celtics rank 21st in pace, and their slower style could further influence the game's tempo. With Porzingis and Holiday potentially sidelined, Boston's offense may lack key scoring options, necessitating a greater focus on defense to contain Indiana's high-powered offense. Although Indiana has made strides defensively, Boston's efficiency on that end of the floor remains superior. The Celtics rank 9th in defensive efficiency, allowing only 108 points per 100 possessions, while the Pacers rank 21st, conceding 112 points per 100 possessions. Indiana's pace has also regressed compared to last season. They now rank 11th in pace with 102.2 possessions per game, while Boston's 19th ranked pace sees them utilizing just 101 possessions per game. Considering Indiana is playing on the second night of a back-to-back, they may opt to slow the game down to conserve energy. These factors, combined with Boston's strong defensive metrics, make under the projected total our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.